Well, folks, the 2021 season is over, and the Baylor Bears are your NCAA champions. Now we can finally relax and all enjoy the offseason.
Not!
Yeah, fuck that. Today I'm going to be making some way too early predictions on next season. We're going to look at potential teams that could be really good, some surprise teams you need to keep your eyes on, and some teams that might fall off and be dog shit next year. You might be thinking it's still way too early and I'm going to get all these predictions wrong, but I have a note for you.
This just says I can do what I want.
Let's get into it. Let's get right into who I think is going to kick ass next year. And my number one team for the 2022 season is Gonzaga. Yes, the team that just got ran off the court by Baylor is my number one team to win it all next year.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
With players returning and potential recruits coming to Gonzaga, they might be even better next year. With Andrew Nembhard and Joel AYAYI. Is it AYAYI? 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 Fuck, I can't say it. Whatever his name is. With both probably returning, they have a very strong veteran presence on the team. Add in 2 top 10 prospects, Hunter Salas and potentially Chet Holmgren, and this team looks very, very dangerous next year. One person to keep an eye on is Drew Timme. I feel like there's a small chance that he may return for his junior season. If that's the case, oh my god. With him and Chet Holmgren in the front court, that's going to be very tough to stop. If Chet Holmgren does commit to Gonzaga, every analyst will be talking about how good he is. But Hunter Salas is someone you need to keep your eye on. He's a 6'5" combo guard who's very smooth and can do everything on the court. Mark Few has yet to win an NCAA title, but is next year finally the season he gets it done? Next, we have the Cinderella team themselves, UCLA. We all loved watching their run the entire tournament this year, and Johnny Juzang is officially a bucket.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Surprisingly, they only had one senior on the roster, and he didn't even play this year because of a torn ACL. So they likely could have the entire team back for next season. A big problem that I think UCLA had in the tournament was their overall depth. I think they can fix that issue with the incoming class. Peyton Watson is a 5-star recruit coming in. He's a 6'7" wing, and I think he'd fit perfectly alongside either Johnny or Jaime. If everyone on UCLA returns, they could go from Cinderella to near favorite.
And give you
a princess.
But the question is, are they just one run or the real deal? For the last of my top tier teams, we go down south to Nate Oates and Alabama. They were one of my favorite teams to watch last year. They got up and down the floor, shot a lot of threes, and were just so much fun to watch. Looking at the roster from last year, they could potentially only lose John Petty and Herb Jones. Those are 2 big pieces, but I believe they can fill them. Juwan Gary was a freshman last season, and I thought he filled in for Herb Jones very well when Herb was in foul trouble in the NCAA tournament. They're also getting the number 1 point guard in the nation in J.D. Davidson, who can help replace offensive weapons like Petty and Jones. I do think Alabama will have a successful season next year, but I'm also a little skeptical. It'll be interesting to see if Nate Oates can continue this success into year 3. Maybe he'll even turn them into a basketball school.
It's hard to
You better make it a good one now, because I'm about half fired up here.
Now on to my surprise teams for next year, and we're going to start out with the most surprising team of the tournament, Oral Roberts. Many of you may know that they had the best duo in the tournament. Max Abmas and Kevin Aubeneur combined to average 50 points during their tournament run.
Wow.
And that's no fluke. Max was the leading scorer in the NCAA last year, averaging nearly 25 points a game, and Kevin was right behind him, averaging 19.
Wow.
There is a chance that Max could go pro, but I truly believe that both of them will be back next year. Even though their role players don't get a lot of credit, most of the supporting cast were sophomores, so they should be back as well.
Wow.
It's no secret that Oral Roberts is also in a weaker conference. I could see them getting a higher seed in the tournament next year, just because they'll probably have a better record than other teams in Power 5 conferences. Think back to 2012 Murray State. They entered the tournament 31-1, mainly because they were a lot stronger than their conference opponents.
Oh.
Can the dynamic duo pull it off, or will they be on the other end of an upset?
Wow.
Next up on the surprise list is VCU. I'm not gonna lie to you, I never even got to watch a game of VCU last season, and that was mainly because they got knocked out of the tournament because of COVID, but ask me if I give a shit.
I don't give
give a fuck.
Looking at their roster, they could be a special team next year. Nashawn, aka Bones Highland, is going to be their best player coming back. He's coming off his sophomore season, averaging 19 points a game. Of their 5 best players, none of them were seniors, so they should all return and be making a huge impact next year. The other big reason I'm picking VCU is because how the season ended. We all know that COVID sucks, and it really sucked watching VCU not even be able to play because of COVID. So I'm really hoping they come back with a vengeance and show everyone what they missed in the tournament last year. For the last of my surprise teams, I want to pick LSU. First off, I want to say Will Wade is a cheating bitch and he deserves to be fired. But damn, they might have a really, really fun team next year. They took teams like Alabama and Michigan down to the wire. I actually had them getting past Michigan in my bracket, so I wasn't surprised that it was a close game in the end.
Weird flex, but okay.
Their leading scorer, Cameron Thomas, should be back next year. Apparently, he will test the waters of the NBA, but I'd be very surprised if he left. In my mind, he's not really an NBA-level point guard. He's very good at scoring, but he doesn't really do anything else very well, in my opinion, so I won't be surprised if he comes back. Their next 3 leading scorers, Trendon Watford, Javonte Smart, and Darius Days, all averaged above 10 points a game and should all be back next year. This LSU team has potential to be very, very dangerous. They also bring in 4-star center Jarrell Colbert and San Jose State transfer Seneca Knight, who averaged 17 points 2 seasons ago. And you never know, Will Wade might just throw some money at it and get an even better player.
Got him.
For real, fuck that guy. Alright, now it's time to get into the teams that I think will not be as good as people are saying. And I want to start out by saying, honestly, I don't have a lot of reasons behind these picks. I just have a feeling in my gut that they're not going to be as good as people are predicting. I'll still give a couple reasons why I don't really think they'll be successful. But in the more truer sense, I have no idea, and I'm kind of just guessing.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
So if these teams turn out to be good, I'm just going to delete this video, and you have no proof. But let's get into my teams. First up is the Syracuse Oranges, or Orange, or whatever stupid mascot they have. Like, look at that thing. That's embarrassing to have. A lot of people are predicting that Syracuse will do very well next year, and that's in part because of their NCAA run. And I have to give them credit. Buddy Boeheim was amazing during that run, but I'm just not convinced. They seem like they're in for a lot of roster turnover, and let's not forget, Syracuse has not been that good the past 6 years. Yes, they've made some runs in the tournament, but outside of this past season, because of the shortened schedule, their best team since 2014 has been a 13-loss team. I'm a well-known Jim Boeheim hater. I think playing a 2-3 zone all the time is fucking stupid, and I'm just not a fan of Syracuse. But even with all my biases, I truly won't be surprised if they don't turn out to be that good next year. They've struggled in recent years, and I'm not sure how Boeheim will deal with all the roster turnover. But hey, maybe Buddy Boeheim will have a great 10th year of college and lead them to a great year. My next pick is no surprise at all. I'm thinking North Carolina might have a down year. I'm not as sure on this prediction as I am others, but when a legendary coach like Roy Williams leaves, I feel like the program might struggle. It's no secret that North Carolina didn't have a great year last year and kind of ended it on a rough note. So even though Hubert Davis is coming in with the same team and he's very familiar with them, it's not like he's Tubby Smith and getting Rick Pitino's roster. They're also not getting a top class like they usually do, so that might hurt Hubert even more for his first season. Like I said before, I'm not huge on this pick, but North Carolina is definitely someone you need to keep your eye on for next year. The last team I want to talk about today is Florida. I think they might be going downhill, and fast. Since their loss to Oral Roberts, they've had 2 people declare for the draft and 4 others decide to transfer. I don't think that's very good. Their best player returning will be Colin Castleton, who's kind of an old school center mold and didn't impress me a lot last year. When they lost to Oral Roberts, he got absolutely manhandled by Kevin Aubener while being much taller than him. The big question with Florida will be, will Keontae Johnson get to play next year? If he does come back, that changes everything, and I think they'll be fine. But without him, I think they're going to really struggle, and they're not going to be that good of a team at all. So tell me what you think of my list. Am I stupid? Am I smart?
Stupid.
Are there teams I completely left out? Be sure to leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Peace.